to 3 processes that I love, and I think I can wrap this up in the next 5 minutes. These 3 customer service processes are great processes for any business. It's how to handle a customer complaint. Customer complaints nowadays are also on the internet, and that's why this process is important too. Reputation monitoring is literally looking for complaints that possibly could be waged against you that are on the internet. It's easy for people to go and put a complaint about you on the internet. It takes 5 seconds. Much harder for someone to call up your company and say, I'm unhappy about this. This is something people do all the time. So either they're complaining about a product or service, literally complaining to you, or they're complaining on the internet, or they're not complaining at all. And that might be because they're happy or because they just didn't bother to complain. And that's where this process comes in. So the customer satisfaction process is to find those people who are happy, but to also find those people who felt like your product or service could be better, and to either make them happy or figure out why they aren't so that you can change it. When customers complain and they're not happy about your product or service, it oftentimes you'll never even know about it. There's a document in this process, and if you download this from the library, you'll see it. And it just has a list of reasons why a customer complaint process, and also reputation monitoring and a customer satisfaction process are so important. This one says price is not the main reason for customer churn. It's actually due to overall poor quality of service. A customer is 4 times more likely to defect to a competitor if the problem is service-related and not just price. I think we use this excuse a lot. Well, they just want a cheaper thing. They just want a cheaper thing. It's not actually true. The probability of selling to an existing customer is 60 to 70% higher than the probability of selling to a new prospect is 5 to 20%. And those of you who understand the cost of advertising and lead generation should be astounded by this number. So much more expensive to try to get a new prospect than it is to keep an existing one happy. This makes me think all the time, depending on your product or service, it's oftentimes easier to make it right with the customer, even if it costs you money. For every customer complaint, there are 26 other unhappy customers who remain silent. And those people are remaining silent to you. They're not remaining silent to their friends and neighbors and everyone else they talk to. 2% increase in customer retention is the same effect as decreasing costs by 10%. It's a huge number. We call this holes in the bucket. It's like money that you're losing and you don't even see it. You don't even know why. 96% of unhappy customers don't complain. However, 91% of those will simply leave and never come back. A dissatisfied customer will tell 9 to 15 people about their experience. Around 13% of dissatisfied customers tell more than 20 people. So you can read through this on your own. My point of showing this to you is just to build some urgency around implementing these 3 processes. Have an effective way to deal with complaints. Have an effective way to monitor your reputation on the internet. So this is got some techniques in it for reputation monitoring. There's software that's free software you can set up that sends you notifications when people comment on you on main search engines. This is like a no-brainer. You got to do this. There's a checklist here for if you have somebody, a customer service person, going in once a week and just monitoring Facebook, just looking to see what people are saying. Here's a list of reputation monitoring software if you're interested in that. Here's some guidelines for customer interactions on social media. So it gives some examples of how to handle certain things that people might be saying, like don't get into online arguments, apologize, listen. So these are just techniques that you can read through. All this can be edited and changed, obviously, for your own situation. So let's go back here. It all starts with customer satisfaction, though. So you have customers coming in and out. when you complete your work with them, and if you're project driven or or you're delivering a service, your work with them may come to an end, or you may be doing counter sales, whatever your situation is. Find the timing for your customer satisfaction. Have surveys are okay. You can do SurveyMonkey, but we all know that generally people don't fill out surveys. So think about your own version of this. Think about doing a customer satisfaction call. So at a certain point when the job comes to an end, or you've decided to check with your customers on how you're doing, give them a call. Pick up the phone. Say, hey, your project was just done, just following up. How did everything turn out? How did it go for you? How do you like our service? If the job went well, that's great. Ask for a referral. Ask for a testimonial. Ask them to go on to Google reviews and put in a review of you. That will bump up your SEO exponentially. SEO is when someone types in your name, your website comes up. So capitalize on a job that went well. If the job did not go well, figure out why. And that then goes back to customer complaints. If the job didn't go well, figure out why. Go back to your customer complaint process and walk through it with that customer. Amazing things can happen here. One is you guard against all of those issues that I just showed you in the statistics that go down when people are unhappy and you don't even know about it. Another wonderful thing that happens is if you find out where you went wrong, sometimes it's not your fault, and that's just, that is what it is. But if there's a place you went wrong, you can go back over here to the 4 functions. You can go to the function where that mistake happened. So if it was an operational thing, you go here. If it's a sales thing, you go here. If it's an admin finance thing, you go here. So go to the process that created that situation, that created that problem, and fix it. Look and see where you can change the tasks, improve the tasks, solve that problem so that it never happens again. Get rid of that frustration, get rid of that issue. And that's the power of process documentation, that you don't just have to live with things that happen over and over and over again. You can analyze them and you can go and fix them. And if any of you are wondering if this is worth your time to do this, then think about this. Think about all of this. It's definitely worth your time. If you quantify it in this way and you get rid of this, I'm too busy, it's definitely worth your time. So you can download those 3 processes from the doing the business function. They may not be perfect for the way that they are right now as they exist in their library format, but edit them and change them. Make a decision to do 1 customer satisfaction call a month if that's all you have time for, and start to see the results of this.